I'm here with Peter Quaqua, the president of the Press Union of Liberia, and I'd like to talk about the media in Liberia and the upcoming elections. Liberia is going to head to the polls this fall. It's going to be the second time since the end of the civil war that the country will be voting. So far, how do you view the media's reporting on the election campaign?
Well, it's critical, and I mean, everybody else has underscored the need of the media to remain professional. And like you said, this is the first time in many years that our country will be holding elections with an incumbent in office. The media, a lot of issues at stake. People are desperate for retaining power and attaining power, and so the role of the media has been very overly pronounced. This is why we at the Press Union have been engaging our colleagues to remain professional and ethical in this process, because a lot is at stake. And we've been conducting training programs. We've been alerting journalists about their role, as well as trying to hold some of them accountable who try to breach ethical standards. So a lot more, and we are glad that we've been able to get a number of training opportunities for journalists. Trainings are taking place as I speak. There are a lot more lineup for media practitioners covering the elections. And the Press Union obviously came up with, as a self-regulatory body, as the umbrella group of journalists, we adopted a code of conduct that will be guiding journalists through the process of election reporting. So we think whatever comes out of these elections, my argument to my colleagues are being that the media cannot afford to be the guilty party. So we have to play our role professionally, so that whatever the politicians would do at the end of the day, the media will be excused. Right.
How free would you say is the media in Liberia today?
Well, in terms of physical brutality that we saw in time past, that has reduced significantly. Otherwise, you can say that it doesn't exist. It's happening far in between. There are times we have security people acting overzealously. There are times when public officials acting overzealously will use some authority on media people, but that has reduced significantly compared to the past regime. What we have currently is the upsurge in what is referred to as slap suits. We have had very many politicians, public officials running to the courts to get some kind of verdict, against the media. And we thought that was becoming a pattern. And our hope is that it is not institutionalized within the arrangement, that it becomes a policy that anytime they do anything wrong, you run to the court and get a verdict and lock them up. So, I mean, these are things that can also scare the media away. As much as physical attack is and against the media operation, we also believe that suits that are intended to intimidate the media from practicing professionally, we think those are issues that we should also raise our eyebrows on.
What would you say are the biggest challenges facing Liberian media, apart from the issue that you just raised about the lawsuits?
Well, basically, one should be very quick to underline the fact that the economy of the media is bad. And that is a recipe for a lot of things to happen to the media. We've had too many people playing into the media, and people with money, politicians, they have a way of manipulating the media, especially when the media is undercapitalized. We've seen a lot of that. A few of our media owners can afford to pay their employees. A few of them can afford to run their paper sustainably. But there are a few that depend on an advertisement before they can publish, right? So it means that that is a very serious challenge. Lately, we have had a situation where publishers have been complaining that the government have not been paying advertisement money to them, and that sort of stifle the media in a way. So yes, a major challenge is how the media can survive in the midst of economic squeeze. And that is a challenge that we may not have an immediate answer for, because it comes along with the total growth of the country. Yes, so we're not in isolation, but we're trying to battle the issues that come along with the ethical issues that come along with those economic problems. This is why we have in place a code of ethics that reminds journalists every other day about their responsibility to the society, their responsibility to their listeners and their audience, so that they are not compromising only because of conditions. We have a role to play and we must keep those roles in place.
Finally, last question, moving a little bit away from the media, what would you say are the biggest issues in your eyes in the upcoming elections?
Well, biggest issues. There's the issue of corruption, and that has taken place, that has taken hold of the society a whole lot. The president has spoken about it. She described it as public enemy. It's prevalent, and a lot of people have spoken about it. Politicians are using it as campaign messages against the current regime. Of course, there is this argument about reducing poverty, and those issues are there. And our hope is that the media can follow these issues, as opposed to following the issues that may not speak very seriously to the generality of the population. So yes, my hope is, and I'm sure a lot of politicians will be answering, the question also of reconciliation. We had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission that brought up a report that is still being contested. In fact, the Supreme Court has had a recent verdict that, or opinion, so to speak, that component of the TRC report unconstitutional. So that in essence put it, in a place in the back burner. But the issue of reconciliation remains very key in all of what we do in Liberia, and nobody who wants political authority, political power in Liberia should underestimate that. That should be on the lips, I believe, because it guarantees, the democracy we talk about. How long can we practice democracy if there's no reconciliation? I believe you have a place where, a tendency where people who feel that they are still marginalized, who feel that they have not gotten justice, you don't want them to resort to something funny. Yeah.
Peter Quaqua, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to be in Germany. Thank you.